My name is Jamin Gurker. I'm an associate real estate broker in the state of Alaska. My mission, as always, is to help you to build an intentional and significant legacy for yourself and your family by coaching in real estate. And today we're going to be talking about why Anchorage is actually better than Wasilla and really kind of the Mat-Su Valley in general. Before we get started though, do make sure you give this video a like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, all that good stuff, feel free to drop that in the comment section down below. I'd love to make this a great resource for our friends who are out of state and considering making a move up here. So if you were here in the area and have any thoughts, make sure you drop your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now, let's go and jump into today's video. One of the big things that Anchorage has going for it as opposed to somewhere like Wasilla is most of the best paying jobs in the state are going to be located in Anchorage. And the reason that that's significant is because if you live in Wasilla and you live there but you work over in Anchorage, that is going to be a solid 30-40 minute commute one way every day. And for some of you, that's going to be a really big deal, and that's just not going to be something that you're interested in dealing with. And so for that reason, I'm definitely going to put that in the pro column for Anchorage. If you live in Anchorage, your commute time is going to be significantly lower, and you're going to spend much less time in the car than if you lived in the Mat-Su Valley. All right, the second big benefit of living in Anchorage compared to living in the Mat-Su Valley, you're going to get a lot more cultural activities such as live performances, concerts, stuff like that over in Anchorage than if you live over in Wasilla, just because you have a greater mass of population living in that area. And that's just usually going to be one of the perks that comes with being in a larger city. The third thing that's really going to be big to some of you, it's really not going to matter to others of you, but for those of you who matters, it matters. And that is you get a lot more shopping options in Anchorage than what you get over in Wasilla. Now, keep in mind, Wasilla still does have the big box stores like the Target, the Fred Meyer, the Walmart, the Lowe's, the Home Depot. You still get like the big box stores there. You're going to get more of them and a little bit more variety over in Anchorage than what you do get over in the Mat-Su. For what it's worth, Anchorage does have a mall, and Wasilla does not though. So if shopping is really important to you, then there you go. Anchorage might be your cup of tea. All right, now this next one is going to be important, and that is that Anchorage is going to have more job prospects than Wasilla is going to have. It's no secret. Most of the population is going to live over in Anchorage. A lot of people are going to work there, and the reason for that is the wages are going to be higher and there are more job opportunities. Now, we might get to the point where the Mat-Su Valley starts to edge that out a little bit, starts seeing the sphere of power kind of flipping more into the Mat-Su just because you have so many people moving to that area because it's a place where you can develop and it attracts a lot of people just with a little bit more of the hands-off government approach to it. But for right now, you're going to have more job prospects over in Anchorage than you're going to have over in the Mat-Su Valley. And for the short term, I don't really see that changing anytime soon. All right, now this one actually is pretty big, just depending on what your opinion is of wind. But you get way less wind over in Anchorage than what you're going to get in the Mat-Su Valley. And the reason for that is with the Mat-Su, you've got a number of mountains all the way around, and then you've got valleys that kind of funnel wind coming into and out of it just with the glaciers that are at the end of these valleys. So you've got really these wind tunnels that get developed on the Kenai Arm and some other valleys as well, because you have the glaciers at the end of those. And if you have glaciers, it affects the micro small weathered patterns because you've got high pressure, low pressure. And if you've got valleys on either side, just creates this wind tunnel of wind coming into and out of that area. You don't really have that in Anchorage. You're going to get some tough winds every now and then, but where I'm living at right now, I can just be minding my own business, not thinking anything of the day. And like I'm looking on Facebook or Instagram and everyone in the valley's complaining about wind, and got a whole bunch of memes and everything going on. It's like, oh shoot, well I guess they're getting the highlight of the year out there right now with 30 mile per hour winds. Okay, cool. And you're just didn't even know that was going on, and you're less than like 20 miles away. So that's something you just have to be aware of. If you're looking at moving to the Mat-Su Valley, yes, there's going to be more wind. If you want to avoid the wind, Anchorage might be a better bet. All right, for this next one, this may or may not be important to you again, but there are more official parks over in Anchorage than what you're going to find in Wasilla. And what I mean by that is you're going to have more committed space to parks where it's like, okay, this is Earthquake Park, this is the Westchester Lagoon, this is Kincaid Park, stuff like that. Meanwhile, over in Wasilla, things are more or less just kind of default wild, and you can really just kind of find a park wherever you want, really. So we're going to have them, but the civic, organized, and maintained parks, it's just really not a Wasilla specialty. So that's something you really do value. You know, maybe Anchorage would be your cup of tea. Let's take a break here real quick. For those of you who've been watching for a little bit, you do know that I host a podcast called the Alaskan Journey Podcast for people who have recently moved to Alaska or are considering moving here. This is going to be a great resource for you because you get to hear from people who have moved up here and hear their pros, their cons, what they liked, what they don't like, what they thought about the Alcan or the ferry system, and all that other information you might need to know as you're looking at moving up here. So that's something that would benefit you. Do make sure you go check that out in the description section down below. I'd be more than happy to have you there. And if you've recently moved up here, do feel free to reach out on my website. Would love to have you on the podcast as a guest. Now, let's go and finish up today's video. This next one may or may not be important to you, just kind of depending on the stage of life that you're in, but you're going to have more schooling options in Anchorage than you're going to have over in the Mat-Su Valley. Now, there's a ton of different schooling options really anywhere, and I mean, you can do the homeschooling, or I think it's a virtual learning really from just about anywhere. If you're looking for a real specialty kind of a program, like a learning immersion kind of a school situation, Anchorage might be more what you're looking for, but I haven't really heard a whole lot of parents complain about the school system over in Wasilla. But if you're looking for something really specific, Anchorage might be your better bet. Additionally, if you don't have a car of your own, you might consider Anchorage more so than the Mat-Su Valley. It is be very difficult to get around and to make ends meet if you're living in Wasilla and you don't have a vehicle of your own. I get it's be much more doable in Anchorage. It's still not going to be easy, because just the nature of Anchorage and really kind of Alaska in general is it's very spread out. And just getting from your house to the bus stop might be a journey in and of itself. So if you are someone who doesn't have a vehicle or you're not planning on getting one, then I would probably really advise you to look at Anchorage a lot closer than I would the Mat-Su Valley. For my travelers, if you are someone who is going to be traveling frequently and you're not wanting to spend a whole lot of time driving from the Ted Stevens Airport in Anchorage all the way to the Mat-Su Valley, then you might really take a look at Anchorage because, that does kind of turn into a bit of a drive. You're probably looking easily 30-40 minutes one way if you're just driving from Ted Stevens International Airport, getting to wherever it is you live over in the Mat-Su Valley. So for that reason, I'd might consider living in Anchorage if you travel like a lot and you're just wanting to cut down on that time. Last but not least, if you live in Anchorage, you are going to have much better access to going south to the Kenai Peninsula than you're going to have if you are living over in Wasilla. I think it's easily probably about 30-40 minutes faster off of that whole trip. And if you're driving in from Wasilla, you're still going to have to pass through Anchorage and all that traffic just to get through it, and then you can start the journey going down the Turnagain Arm and going down the entire journey on the Kenai Peninsula. So if you plan on spending a lot of time on the Kenai, just know that you're going to have a little bit more drive time than if you just live over in Anchorage. But then again, if you want to go on the Kenai, then there's a good chance that you're perfectly fine making that sacrifice every now and then if it means you get to live in the Mat-Su. All right, well, that has been my video talking about why Anchorage is better than the Mat-Su Valley. I sure hope it's been useful for you. If it has, give this video a like. If you live up here and you have any thoughts, concerns, questions, anything like that, feel free to put those in the comment section down below so we can make this a resource for our friends who are considering moving to the state. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.